Neil spoke to historian Kieran McCarthy about how McCurtain Street turned 100 years old this year. Coincidentally, I was also talking about McCurtain Street the last time that I was doing this programme for Neil, and many listeners are not happy that the area is being referred to as the Victorian Quarter. John O'Donovan is a regular contributor to the programme, and he's one of those who's unhappy. Hiya, John.
Good morning, how are you, Mick?
I'm very good. Now, marketing this as the Victorian Quarter, you reckon is a complete disgrace?
It is an abomination in the memory of Thomas McCurtain, who, anyone that knows the history of our city, we lost two Lord Mayors, one in hunger strike, and the other was murdered, McCurtain, in front of his own wife and young son. And we all know it's King Street, as Kieran said yesterday, and well done to Kieran. I love listening to him. He's a brilliant historian, and he keeps the local stuff going all the time.
Sorry, John, are you on speaker? Is there any way you could move slightly? It's a pretty bad line.
That better, is it?
Slightly better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would be totally against, renaming this, because I think actually that's what's happening here. I think they're softening up the city fathers to actually rename this completely, like from McCurtain Street, and maybe say, take the plaque down maybe and put up the Victorian Quarter and market it as the Victorian Quarter. And I think it's a supreme insult, like to one of our heroes that lost his young life in the city, that was murdered by the British forces at the time in front of his wife and young son. And
dragged from his bed and murdered, wasn't he?
That's right. And even to consider it, like, renaming it, or even marketing it as the Victorian Quarter, because that's where it starts. It's subliminal. You get it into people's heads, and then eventually, as the younger people go up, well, this is the Victorian Quarter. It's not the Victorian Quarter. It's called after Thomas McCurtain, one of our own who was murdered by the British forces in this town. And that name should remain on that street forever and a day.
Well, I don't think there's any motion or any desire to change the name from anything but McCurtain Street. But can I just be the devil's advocate here for a second, okay? We have the French Quarter, and if we were to have the Victorian Quarter, is it not about the architectural style of the era rather than a monarch who may have seemed to be oppressive to this country? Can you separate one from the other?
Well, I'd be honest with you, I think you can't. I think the name of the street, like, why not call it the McCurtain Quarter? I mean, therefore you will be retaining the name of the street, the reverence of the street, the historical respect for McCurtain and his family, right, and all he stood for, and given up his young life. You could market it as the McCurtain Quarter. Why do you have to market it like as the Victorian Quarter? I mean, it's McCurtain Street. And I think the people of Cork that came in would be in full agreement with me here. And I think what's afoot here is that eventually, if you keep marketing something, you know what advertising is like you're around radio long enough. If you keep marketing something and you keep getting it out there, it is subliminal. It does get into people's head, and it changes people's attention, and it changes what they once thought was one becomes another.
What about Albert Road, John?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of names around the city, like you just up by your... the north side around Wellington Road, and you have Waterloo Terrace and places like that. But they weren't called after like one of our Irish heroes like that. That's historical names. And look, are we going to change everything? But the thing is, I'm talking about McCurtain Street, one of our fallen heroes, to even consider going there. And what kind of alerts me more is that they're considering renaming Anglesey Street. And one councillor actually said it should be called McCurtain Street. No, why would you have two McCurtain Streets? So that would lead me, the conspiracy theorist maybe within me, Mick, right, to say, is there moves afoot here to rename Anglesey Street as McCurtain Street?
And then remove McCurtain Street from the name of the street that we know it so well as.
Got it in one.
Okay. Also, of course, you've got Patrick's Quay, which runs parallel and below McCurtain Street, and at right angles, you've Patrick's Hill. So would all these be included in the so-called Victorian Quarter?
Well, look, you see again, as I said, why call it the Victorian Quarter? Why not call it the McCurtain Quarter? And that encompasses everything then. And that will satisfy, I think, the people of Cork, because we're known as the Rebel City, like, and to ever consider, I think, changing that. And anytime the commemoration, this year, as you know, when it comes to the pandemic, it couldn't go ahead. And when they do have the march in from Blackpool, because they went in one previously, that's the route it takes. It comes right up Cork Street and goes down the street that is named after our fallen hero, McCurtain.
Tomas McCurtain. Mick is on line one. Hang on, John. Hi, Mick.
Hey, Mick, how's it going? This is Frick, Mick.
Oh, Mick Frick, how's it going?
How's it going, mate?
What do you think of all this?
I was listening yesterday. You know what I mean? I put in the show, the language changing it. But, like, I can't understand how they allow change it. And was it a British marketing company done the survey or what as well? I'd like to know that.
Well, I don't know about a British marketing company, but I know that Google Maps has it up as the Victorian Quarter already.
Yeah, but that's crazy how they can do it. And I think it's a disgrace. As John said, I don't agree with John. Like, but, I mean, in fairness, like, he's right, what he's saying to McCurtain family, like, his great-granddaughter was on, and she said he wouldn't be upset, but he would be upset about it, but wouldn't get too worried about it if he left to us, and if he was alive. But I can't see how this is left to go ahead. You know what I mean? Victorian quarters, as John said, you were on about Albert Road, and all them, that's different. Like, even down Patches there, like, it's called the Victoria Dockyards, as you know, mate. Mm-hmm. And like, well, I don't know, I wouldn't recognise it. The Victoria Dockyards, it's Patches.
Patches Docks, as far as I'm concerned, too, yeah. I know it's called Victoria Docks,
you know what I mean? But no, McCurtain Street, it would be a disgrace if that was changed. Like, and I can't see how the people up there want to do it first place, you know, or they half British or what, I don't know.
Well, we've discussed the resurgence of McCurtain Street before, guys. It has come from... Now, I know it's overburdened with one-way traffic, but it has come on leaps and bounds with fantastic properties like the Shelburne, like Dan Lowry's. You have the theatre there. You have fantastic... the Son of a Bun is there, and there's many more. You can't mention them all. But they really have got themselves together as a business street.
There has a business street, but it's not Victoria's bringing them up there, like.
No. It's the buzz. It's like the Temple Bar of Cork now.
Yeah, I know that. Temple
Bar. Metropole is the heart and soul of the jazz festival.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you don't have to change it to get people up there.
Okay, John, come back in there.
Yeah. Look, there's no one disagreeing. Like, I mean, that the street hasn't come on in leaps and bones. We all know that. I mean, going back 30 years ago, it was a complete absolute kip. And it was actually dangerous to go up, even having a point around that area there. There was always an unsavoury kind of element hanging around there. But it has come on in leaps and bounds. It's thriving as a street. It's alive. Complete a part of town that was dead. It's completely 100% alive now. There's no one disputing that. But what I am disputing, and what Mick is saying as well there, the people of Cork would not want that known as the Victorian Quarter in respects to McCurtain. And obviously, Tomas McCurtain isn't around, to comment on this, but let us be upset for him and his memory, seeing that he can't speak for himself.
Okay, where will it go from here?
Well, it shouldn't go anywhere. And if it is going to go anywhere, it's McCurtain Street, and if they are going to market it as a quarter, they can call it the McCurtain Quarter, and we'll all be satisfied.
I don't see any arguments coming out of that one, and I wonder who's pushing the whole Victorian Quarter thing. Is it a City Hall thing? Is it?
Well, somebody's pushing it anyway.
Is it a Board Fáilte kind of thing, or what?
I don't know, but there's somebody behind it, but I think it should stop, and it should stop now.
Yeah. Of course, along the Metropole, you've got Isaac's, you've got Greens, you've got Cask, you have the lovely chicken and Hillbillies. There's other fast food places there, but the buzz in McCurtain Street. I went to a gig in the Everyman. A Pink Floyd tribute band, and the buzz around McCurtain Street, around Dan Lowry's and the pubs there, it's an incredible place to go out for a night.
There's no disputing that, Nick, as I said, but I think that we all know, look, 1920, like it's 100 years ago, right? We lost, our city was burned to the ground, by British forces. We lost 2 Lord Mayors in the same year. One shot, as I said, at Tomas McCurtain, the other died in hunger strike in Brixton Prison, Thomas Max Sweeney, right? It was a savage time, right? And, the least we owe them, is to hold on to what we have and what was named after them. It would be, a Kenna will say, to taking all the names off of Ballyfihan area, McDonald Road, Pierce Road, Conley Road, and all that, removing those.
Victoria Cross?
It
still exists? I wonder, instead of the Victorian Quarter, could we call it the Victory Quarter?
No, the McCurtain Quarter, to me, I think was
fair enough. Yeah. All right, John and Mick, thank you very much for coming on, okay? And if you check on Google Maps, you will see it already there as the Victorian Quarter. I take the point that the McCurtain Quarter may be a more amenable name and certainly more acceptable to the people of Cork. This